Hi, welcome to Trek World. When a Star Trek fan hears the word Mego today, immediately a flood of memories comes running in from our childhood. Known mostly for the action figure lines at that time, as the end of the 1970s approached, they began entering into the home consumer electronics market. In doing so, they chose to launch a large number of different products. Some were truly visionary, others were just off the mark, and others still were simply too far ahead of their time. Join me after the break as we take a look at the rise and fall of Mego's Star Trek electronics accessories. Watching this video, please remember to check out our channel for these other popular videos. Also, if at any point you find that you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to smack that like button and leave a comment below. You will find that the Trek World community is the nicest and most active of any other Star Trek channel on YouTube. Lastly, please consider becoming a VIP supporter via our Patreon site, using the link below in the description. Before we get started, we need to give credit where credit is due. Of all the research that we have ever done on Star Trek video material, we have never encountered so many keepers of the lore as we have when researching Mego toys. The fandom around Mego is one of the most curated repositories we have ever seen. There are so many websites, forums, channels, photos, groups, and videos that the challenge is not finding material. The challenge is in figuring out how to pick and choose what material can be used to tell the story. We would like to thank these sites for being the standard bearers for all things Mego. Without them, this video would be a much different video.
Ready? Activate! Wow! Look at the stars!
You can turn your room into a planetarium with a Star Trek intergalactic projector.
Enterprise approaching Big Dipper.
Accurately shows all the constellations. These cards help you identify them,
Enemy craft from Jupiter.
while these light beam pointers let you play Star Trek like never before. Runs on 2D and 2 AA cell batteries, not included. Star Trek Intergalactic Projector comes with light beam pointers and identification cards by Mego.
In 1976, the world of children's toys witnessed a breakthrough when Mego Corporation released the Star Trek Intergalactic Planetarium. The planetarium was not just another piece of Star Trek merchandise. It was a tangible representation of the groundbreaking television series that captured the imaginations of viewers across the globe. The Mego Star Trek Intergalactic Planetarium projected the cosmos onto the ceiling of any darkened room, transforming bedrooms into miniature versions of the USS Enterprise's main viewer. In the pre-digital era, this gave young fans an immersive Star Trek experience and allowed them to explore their interest in space and science, effectively bringing the vast expanse of the universe to their very own homes. Coupled with the planetarium were accompanying audio tapes that presented narrated adventures by Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, creating a multisensory interactive experience that was beyond the norm for toys at the time. Fans could align the stellar projections with the stories, thereby creating an engaging, educative, and exciting playtime. This was a time when the world was still in awe of the 1969 moon landing, and space exploration was at the forefront of popular culture. The planetarium capitalized on this fascination by offering a unique interactive experience that blended education with entertainment, a concept that resonated with a broad audience. In retrospect, the Mego 1976 Star Trek Intergalactic Planetarium is more than a toy. It represents a significant piece of Star Trek memorabilia that continues to be revered by fans. It is actually a unicorn in the Star Trek universe. We have not been able to validate an actual sale of one of these items, so the numbers you see on the screen are guidelines.
The charts show a meteorite field. We have to change course. Activate the Star Trekulator. Check.
Now you can play Star Trek with a Star Trekulator, a digital calculator that never makes a mistake. Batteries not included.
Take these numbers. 6,000.
6,000. Check.
Divide by 12.
Check.
And that finishes the homework for the day.
The Star Trekulator adds, multiplies, divides, and subtracts by Mego.
The Mego Star Trekulator is an iconic piece of toy history that invokes nostalgia for many fans of the Star Trek franchise. Released in the 1970s, During the golden era of Star Trek merchandise, this peculiar piece of collectible tech toy was a notable departure from Mego Corporation's typical action figure offerings. The Star Trekulator was designed as a futuristic calculator, styled after the computer interfaces from the original Star Trek television series. Unlike most calculators, however, the Star Trekulator's numbers and functions were hidden beneath a panel depicting a replica of the Starship Enterprise's control console, delivering an immersive Star Trek experience. Upon its release, the Star Trekulator was marketed as a must-have for any Trekker, targeting a niche but passionate fan base. Mego was already well established as a purveyor of Star Trek action figures and hoped that branching into tech-based toys would further solidify its brand within the franchise's merchandise market. The sales performance of the Star Trekulator, however, did not mirror the success of Mego's action figures. While the product had initial popularity among diehard fans, it faced two significant barriers to widespread success. Firstly, the Star Trekulator was significantly more expensive than traditional calculators, making it a high-cost purchase for a primarily novelty item. Secondly, its functionality as a calculator was somewhat compromised by its novelty design, with hidden numbers and symbols that were more fun than practical. Despite these obstacles, the Star Trekulator had respectable sales. During its production run, it gained popularity as a unique gift idea for sci-fi fans. However, it did not achieve the mass market appeal that Mego might have hoped for. Today, the Mego Star Trekulator is a sought-after collector's item, with only a limited number produced during its initial run. Finding one in good condition can be a challenge. Its value has considerably appreciated due to its rarity and the ongoing popularity of Star Trek collectibles. Amazingly, this is the first and only time that Mego actually used the Star Trek theme instead of their creepy Star Trek chants.
The most exciting game ever, the Star Trek Phaser Battle, the game that fires back. Just power on. It's an exact replica of the Star Trek telescreen. Watch out, here comes the Klingon. Press the trigger on the phaser launcher. Hear the phaser fire. The Klingon ship appears throughout the galaxy. You can hear the phasers launch. You missed. The Klingon fires back. Is this a Star Trek phaser battle?
Sure is, Dad. Wanna try it?
Okay.
Turn it up to Fleet Commander, Dad. That'll make it tough for you.
Wow, this is fast. There's the alert. Press the force shield. Fire again. Check your score. Your hit is recorded on an LED readout screen. Every time you miss, the Star Trek phaser battle fires back. You've got to raise your shields to stop them, and you've only got 3 chances or you're out. Star Trek Electronic Phaser Battle, the game that fights back. It's just as tough for Dad as it is for you. New from Mego.
In the annals of the classic toy market, one particular item stands out for its combination of novelty, nostalgia, and space-age fascination: the 1976 Mego Star Trek Phaser Battle game. It's a piece of toy history that highlights the mid-70s peak of the Star Trek franchise's popularity, prior to the advent of Star Wars. The Phaser Battle game was released by Mego Corp, a company renowned for its action figures and licensed products. Following on the heels of their successful Star Trek action figure line, Mego hoped to capitalize further on the Star Trek fandom, and the Phaser Battle game became one of their notable efforts. The game itself was an electronic tabletop game that replicated starship battles from the show. Players would use small joystick-like controllers to move a light spot, representing their starship, around a 14-inch television-like screen while avoiding enemy fire. The aim was to phaser the enemy ships, generating a satisfying explosion effect on the screen, and earning points in the process. As an early adopter of electronic gameplay, the Phaser Battle game was an example of innovative technology during its time. With its vibrant lights, spaceship combat, and unmistakable sound effects, it succeeded in evoking the adventurous spirit of the Star Trek series, turning living rooms into a bridge on the Starship Enterprise. In terms of sales performance, the Phaser Battle game did well, reflecting the enormous popularity of Star Trek in the mid-70s. It initially retailed for approximately $30, which was a significant price tag for the time, but this didn't deter the Star Trek faithful. Tens of thousands of units were sold, with many units still appearing in working condition on the collector's market today. The legacy of the Phaser Battle game extends beyond its original release. It remains a treasured collectible among Star Trek fans and vintage toy enthusiasts, fetching high prices on online auction sites. The game is also celebrated for its contribution to the early video gaming era, pushing boundaries in both tech and licensing in the toy industry. The Mego Star Trek Phaser Battle game is a testament to Star Trek's popularity and the era's technological innovation. A nostalgic trip down memory lane for fans, it continues to inspire admiration and interest as a milestone in the history of electronic gaming. Despite the competitive landscape of the time, the Phaser Battle game enjoyed a successful sales performance, leaving an enduring legacy that resonates with Star Trek aficionados and gaming historians alike. The Mego Star Trek teleconsole, released in the late 1970s, holds a memorable place in the annals of toy and pop culture history. This product, an innovative attempt to merge television interactivity with a beloved franchise, was Mego Corporation's bold foray into the burgeoning realm of video gaming, a sector which was then just beginning to find its feet. As a bridge between traditional action figures and the nascent video gaming industry, the Mego Star Trek teleconsole offered a unique play experience. It comprised an electronic console that allowed players to interact with an on-screen representation of the USS Enterprise from the Star Trek series. The teleconsole's setup was innovative for its time, combining a physical action set with a responsive electronic gaming console. The USS Enterprise flew across the TV screen, dodging obstacles and battling enemy ships in the perilous vastness of space. Though groundbreaking in concept, the teleconsole was launched in a period when the gaming industry was still trying to establish itself, and the technology available at the time did not quite allow for the level of sophistication and immersion that would be commonplace in later years. Unfortunately, the Mego Star Trek teleconsole didn't quite hit warp speed in terms of sales performance. At the time of its release, it was priced relatively high, given the technology and features it offered, and it found it hard to compete with more affordable gaming systems that started entering the market around the same time. However, the teleconsole had its share of dedicated fans and remains a treasured piece of Star Trek memorabilia for many. Its uniqueness as a transitional piece between traditional toys and electronic games gives it an enduring appeal for collectors and enthusiasts of the Star Trek franchise and vintage gaming. In recent years, the Mego Star Trek teleconsole has become a sought-after item on the collector's market. Prices for a complete and fully working teleconsole can range into the hundreds of dollars, reflecting the enduring appeal of Star Trek and the nostalgic charm of this early gaming system. Despite the teleconsole's lackluster initial sales, Mego Corporation's ambition and willingness to innovate played a vital role in the evolution of the toy industry. The teleconsole remains an iconic symbol of the industry's early attempts to blend television and interactive gaming, a testament to an era when Star Trek's vision of future technology was just beginning to materialize in the hands of its fans. As we end this video, Trek World would like to thank our VIP supporters. If you would like to join those viewers who support us, please visit us on Patreon. The link is in the description of this video.